because I wanted to see what the adaptation was from PSG,
okay.
what would look strong. I think Ahri is a strong first punch, right?
Yeah, definitely. Fanning away the Ahri. Want to get Knight's OP champions out of the way, at least.
Yeah.
Still going to have to deal with the Kalista, though. They're going to make a run back. I mean, honestly,
worked all right in game one, right?
at the beginning, you know, the targeting of the bottom lane with Maokai coming over and over and over again was kind of getting them their little bit of foothold to be able to fight in the game. So they want to repeat that.
Yeah, I feel like you're still happy here as BLG. Maybe you just end up drifting over towards the Taliyah pick for Knight instead, now that the Ahri's been taken off the board. Also an exceptionally strong Orianna if you want to, but they did drop the Renekton ban for the Ahri, so that could just be take it for Bin, ban away some of the bad matchups in that top side, make sure you're all good.
Historically been a great pick. You talked about it in game one draft, Dagda. Bin locks it in nice and early. It means no jungler here for PSG, excuse me, BLG. My question now is towards PSG, if they get this Maokai again, they prioritize that and start banning away pairings for Bin in that top side.
I feel like a large part of the success of Maokai in the last game was because he got the early experience lead.
Yep.
So I don't know if that would cause them to like over-index on it. Okay, they do switch it off and go for the Ksante instead.
I am surprised to see the Ksante, because I would traditionally favor Renekton in this matchup. You don't always get the kill threat, but you can take Demolish on the Renekton, you get wave clear, you look for the Demolish procs, take turret plates, so you're in a relatively good spot. So unless they expect to go kind of, hey, we're going to lane swap again, maybe you can deny Renekton some of those turret plates after you lane swap for the first 3 levels, but it does feel strange to go for the Ksante into this matchup.
Meanwhile, time to target Shun here. Take away the Zins out. Do you think that we are going to get a Kindred game at some point here from Shun?
Definitely.
Because I really hope so.
Italy angle here. Also on the card, surely in this tournament, as Taliyah's banned away from the other side.
All right, taking away, already highlighted, some of the most successful champions here for Maple have been those roaming, playmaking mid lane champions. So BLG targeting that this time around, especially since they aren't going to be able to start it out with the Knight's Ahri.
I'm curious what their final ban here is going to be for BLG, because it either feels like it's going to be an Orianna, and essentially you're trying to force Maple into the Azir, or you're going to ban the Azir and then see what Maple has left in the tank, because this has kind of been his go-tos, have been the Taliyahs, the Azirs, the Ahris, these kind of things. So I am curious what way they want to try and go for this, and maybe if they do try and force the Azir, it's going to be nice going back towards the Aurelion Sol. We said already, look, he brought it up before, it wasn't his best showing, don't get me wrong, but he's had a bit of time to work on it. But there is the Azir ban.
The Azir ban as well, just note that, I mean, Knight has a lot more in the playmaking. Like, we've seen Veigar in playoffs, we've seen Syndra, he's Tristana, he also plays the Aurelion Sol. Dagda just brought that up. The Orianna also Knight has played and gotten really good at in the past couple of years too. So Knight has an extensive champion pool, so they're going to give PSG a bit of priority here for Maple, that R5 for mid.
If they go with the Maokai, they're going to do a Maokai-Tristana combo here and grab the Trist for Maple.
But then does Knight just play Syndra and just win
Blast
out the
him.
lane?
Yeah!
Yeah, I think if you go for the Tristana here for Maple, though, you're very heavily indexed into the AD, right? Yes, you got Maokai and some AP damage that will come off with the Nami, but I'd still be worried when Renekton can go in towards Dead Stance, these kind of things, get some early tabbies, he's going to be completely unkillable. And especially when you've got things like the bailout there, it makes it very tough to deal with. But what, is it going to be a away angle for Nice?
You reckon? We just steer.
Oh, please!
This historically is sick. I mean,
just trying to get the crowd excited. Just trying to get the crowd excited. Will be the classic Orianna. Knights, one thing he does super well with the Orianna is like hide the Orianna ball. I know people have been focusing on a lot of those hidden Orianna ball plays, but I feel like Knight was kind of one of the OGs at that.
Okay, that's game. That's you know, for Maple, that's very gutsy. In a matchup versus Knight, I think we kind of remember, you know, Orianna's laning phase being favored here. Maple has to get through the scaling. It's not going to be like going up against FlyQuest. Knight is very strong in lane on this pick.
And you've got an incredibly strong jungler to follow up as well. This 1-2 punch, especially as you hit level 6, is so incredibly strong. And we already saw a bit of that attention from Shun in the early stages. I wouldn't be surprised to see it again.
You know what something's really annoying, Kobe? Is in LPL, the top-tier top laners do this thing, whether it's Ornn or Renekton, they like ganking mid a lot. That happens a lot. Bin does it, 369 does it. They just make these random roams when they get push in top, and they just appear mid. Now, this is a very potent appear mid composition. I think very potent BLG composition if we round out the fact that this team loves skirmishing as always. I see a comp that skirmishes again. Look at it.
Yeah, I mean,
wants to fight.
You got your classic Jarvan plus Orianna combo, the shockwave delivery system here, and then you have Renata ultimates to follow it up. So you're talking about, you know, team fights. Those are some beautiful team fights, some really good AoE combos, some really good, you know, mid-jungle synergy there as well for them. And I think we are definitely going to see some, you know, some pressure towards the bottom side of the map pretty early on.
Usual, wasn't it? PSG good at reverting that in game one, though. It has to be said the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're probably going to see the same adaptation here from PSG Talon. Try and look for the lane swap.
Yep.
Don't worry about the first 3 levels. Just make sure that you're going to be in a good spot. See if you can go for that invade again. Don't die would be the ideal one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the checkbox for me on this one. But at least go for the same idea. And if you can get into a position where you end up with JunJia being able to steal some of these cams, especially the way he was able to get that bottom side for himself in the last game, that is probably the way that you want to try and get this early lead for PSG Talon.
And the crowd revved up today, I tell you what. It's crazy again. I mean, BLG, their first title, they come into MSI's first seed. And against PSG, made it a quick showing in the first game. Now, this is the main stage. PSG earned their right to be here, beating down FlyQuest. Every time I talk about it, I feel bad casting with Kobe. But I've got Dagda now, so
Hey!
I can throw it into the middle.
Do you guys have game sounds? Speaking of what
It's
you
a little
have?
low. It's a little low, but
It ain't there, but that's okay, Kobe. We'll get there eventually. What do you reckon they're saying right now, the champions? It's a mystery.
Saying invade, invade, invade. They've
have
got
you,
the words on it.
Do you know the most messed up League of Legends you can have? You can turn on only champion sounds, and right now you'll be hearing, ha, ha, that's it. Least in the best of it. And Kalista, not too bad as well as BLG make this an invade, forcing JunJia off the blue buff, but nothing more.
that is huge though, because BLG aren't getting that same disruption on the opposite side. So Maokai will go back towards his wolves. The question mark though is how did he try and respond now? Does he still completely clear at this blue side jungle as Azhi walking into experience range? But
Oh, he wants a W under turret. He does so successfully. On actually has to flash away. Not too bad getting the flash from On. But in the end as well, Azhi gets tanked heavy.
What? What an odd interaction we
It
just
was.
witnessed. Walk right up to him, hit him with the W back, and Summoner Spell advantage. Now, JunJia definitely did get delayed, and he's still on ward there. So Maokai being behind to a Jarvan plus being on vision is a little bit dangerous.
are they just going to go for On though is the big question, because there is an opportunity. Oh wait, Azhi!
Oh, the Ren's in as well. It brings the game sound back.
On's
And
dead.
with the blood, On is dead. You're right. He's going to be a trade, but a minion kills him in the end. So first blood, no response. Shun gets the invade in, and JunJia just has to watch as Elk is on the board nice and early.
It does help out spotting JunJia on this bottom side though, because no dive can happen. Elk now going to spot out Azhi again, interrupts
Yep.
the recall,
Oh, no.
which is going to do nice for him, but Maple...
I talked about it. Maple, the flag and drag is volatile, but he gets out. Shun doesn't pull the trigger and doesn't pull the flash. Maple just runs his life.
Meanwhile, top side, been under tower there, trying to soak up his experience, and he does get to his level 2. Looks like he wasn't under too much pressure up there.
That's disrespectful. Maple just sits there, breath of light. Bramble Smash saves his life as On has roamed up as well, but Shun is just running into him. Jarvan level 3 damage cannot be underestimated as JunJia Bramble smashes once again. Meanwhile, Elk almost getting soloed out by Archer. This early game is chaotic.
Woody's roaming over to help defend the jungle right
Let's
now.
go again. Handshake brings JunJia back on in. Woody with the ebb and flow. Good healing here as JunJia thinks about a twisted advance.
BLG have to back away though. The TP is going to come in from Maple in just a moment, and as soon as that happens, PSG Talon have a go button if they want to. BLG playing with fire at the moment, but at least Knight has the level advantage in the mid lane. But here comes Betty.
So he said BLG must back away, and Shun's like, maybe I don't have to. He's thinking about going back in with On and Knight now moving up. Knight is level 4 as well. Flag and Drag doesn't connect, but good damage here from the dissonance. The flash away from the handshake was good. Now the heal for the re-engage. JunJia trying to slow down, but the sapling is out of range. As meanwhile, Betty versus Ben. He's punching again. Oh! And he gets the auto. Giga Ben has debuted at MSI.
Ben was so ready for that one. Goes up against the wall and immediately flashes, gets his auto off, gets the kill under tower.
And again, it's these little things going in BLG's favor in the early stages. Game 1, it was that kill in the river. Game 2, now you're getting these leads, but Bin finds Woody.
Look at the Fury as well. He's close. He's slice and dices, gets the upgrade, gets out of the Aqua Prison as well.
Oh no!
Cole the Meek, and with On's help, it's another kill. The Croc is snapping.
Andy came home and caught Woody. It's an absolute disaster. Sean is able to get over the wall into the pit. What is happening?
Bin is happening, BLG is happening. This one starting out more akin to the pace that kind of people were expecting. Almost barely even 5 minutes into the game and you already have the massive BLG lead. Here's another look at it as he dashed right into Bin's face. You dash into Bin's face.
That's less than ideal.
You're gonna get stunned immediately. He charged it up and then here I like how he hugs the wall to get ready for the flash and force the extra little bit there from Betty, and he immediately answers. If you get your auto started and then the Lucian doesn't get out of vision, then it will go off, it will get the kill.
Also the ward over the wall to make sure that he was going to be able to immediately get the auto attack off, because you kind of expect the dash to be coming through from Betty, so really good stuff from Bin. Still going to lose a turret plate though, as is expected, but now 2 kills against Azhi's got nothing and nice.
Hit. Okay, I was just gearing up for that the way this early game has gone. Knight has flash available.
On.
Maple lucky to get out, you're right. On is coming into level 3. Renata shows up and almost hits Maple, but he walks away. The back is still stymied, considering Maple has no TP to return to lane.
But Knight does, so that's the whole point. Knight will get to push in this wave, TP back in, and then you can use his pressure in mid to lean up, or lean down towards the Dragon if you want, and up towards Void Grub. So options here for BLG.
We even have a bounty on Bin's head, even though he has the 19 CS there. The 2 kills obviously contributed to that, giving him the bounty, and he will be able to soak the top wave, no problem.
Oh, he's going to flash for this, isn't he?
I didn't realize that was a problem I had to contend with in lane swaps. If you get a bounty as a top laner.
True. Not something we're used to. Sorry guys, I'm just gearing up because every time we look towards mid, Knight is like leveraging the fact that he might flash. Again, lane phase going well. As speaking of, Arja showing up, the all-out going to be used onto Elk, but he's squishy now as he tries to kite back. Elk trying to kite away himself. Arja plays the patient, the flip back as well. Elk ties to a solo kill. Arja gets him back.
This game is revenge of the top laners. Bin gets his kills. Arja gets his kills. Arja had also, he had been solo burning flashes of both enemy bottom laners previously, so now he actually completes and gets the kill. Honestly, all the top laners that have had to go through these lane swaps,
look,
cathartic experience.
A fight's happening again, isn't it? Yes, it is. On's running in. Knight has Shockwave over Dragon. Who's going to die? Aqua Prison kited away from his Knight is running towards, but maybe my pants are on fire a bit here as no fight ends up happening with the Dragon secured.
I was going to say, with Elk dead and Shun being on that top side, I think it would have been a very sorry
That sounds like reason, Dagda. That sounds like logic. I don't like it. BLG are a smart team, not to take away from them, but, you know, again, if they see it, even if it's a numbers mismatch, they'll be like, nah, I'd win. they're actually, I realize they're the classic nah, I'd win team at MSI.
That is true, and it feels like now they might win here because PSG getting shoved underneath their own tower. They will need to call JunJia here if they want to survive, but Shun very close to the level 6 mark, so if you can steal away this blue, this could very quickly turn into a bad old time for PSG.
Ping's raining down right here because the bottom lane of BLG, such a point of power here, pushing into the tower and then roaming up to help support. On's going to go ahead and secure the vision on the other side by mid and then help out Shun.
Swiftness for a reason as he moves around. JunJia at least getting the smite down, so EXP bar getting closer here as both junglers might time level 6 at the same time.
Yeah, now Shun knows that he has smite advantage for the blue, so Shun's going to be able to take away the blue while Elk and On.
Here we go, 2v2 dive. We talked about this. Handshake out. Woody is going to burn down. Auto through Ignite picks as well. Elk under turret finds his mission as Cataclysm burns. Level 6 hit first from Shun. You very smart analyst talking about that level gap. It forces the flash.
They're trying to isolate on this bottom side. I thought they might continue to go for Betty, but they're going to just back away, happy with the turret plates until Betty and JunJia are still here. You don't win this! You don't win this! You
have no mana. Waiting out for the dash is easy. Elk styles on him. You know, in LPL, Betty had a positive win rate against Elk, and he is now shutting that down real quick.
Elk and On, what a terrifying bot lane duo. And they just lay waste to this game.
Yeah, I think the last time Betty saw Elka's Jomong. It was a long hell time ago when he's playing an RNG, but Elka is a changed man. No more Jomong madness. On is no longer off. The bot lane for BLG has come alive, and it is decimating Betty and Woody.
And I have to say, it's easy when Elk had to do his hard years on Ultra Prime, that 1 year in 2022 to be specific. It's a much changed man, as we said, Elk and On, great duo, but I think we need to talk about the early game here for BLG, because it has been Bin, it has been Shun, it has been the laning phase from Knight that is leading him in the CS lead. Everything working well here with BLG having an almost 4K gold lead at 10 minutes in the game.
Yep. BLG bot lane advantage is ginormous at the moment. Elk was able to finish his opportunity, so gets even more scary with everybody doing this.
He has more opportunities.
Yeah, it gets even more.
That's an original joke, isn't it, Dagda?
I mean, but look at this. The lethality plus the Q maxes, these spears, you just get giant chunks of damage over and over and over, and then you get whittled out. You don't get the CS down there.
I think Bin might be able to 1v2 this. Level 8 Croc goes into dominance. He's building up Fury. Arja gets a flip on back, but Bin is crikey incarnate. JunJia just runs away, and Bin waits for the next coming.
Yeah, and Shun was on the way as well. You know, Jarvan's coming up there. If they really tried to go for it. Bottom side again, though. Look at the pain.
Got demolished. I mean, again, PSG and the 2v2 aren't winning out in standard lanes. They talked about it on the desk, and I think we all mentioned it. It looks so hard to beat as Culling comes through. The tidal wave between Woody in trouble as On takes some turret shots. Archer TP down. They're going to try and find this lane, but they're like, nah, let's take Woody with us. The bailout there. On survives a little bit longer as Elk's now just like, get me Betty, get me the kill. He won't find it. And it's classic BLG again.
It takes 4 members from PSG Talon to shut them down, which means this tower on top side probably going to fall towards Bin, especially if Shun, after taking these Void Grub, wants to try and move up there. You could dive this Maokai. He's only level 7.
Knight here zoning Maple off from the minions as well at tower.
Okay, jump on in. The singularity down. Slow is there. Good Aurelion Sol damage and stacks to boot. Just classic what you expect of Aurelion Sol and what you've seen at this tournament so far.
And Knight continues, though, to squeeze out these CS leads in mid lane with Maple roaming bottom. You know, PSG sending 4 people to try and put a stop to this devastating BLG bottom lane. Knight pushes up on the tower again. So many mid lane turrets taken as well as the big CS lead.
This guy is everywhere. On is just always out of lane. And I think it's something we talked about at the start of day 2, where the sync up between On and Shun, between support and jungle of BLG, is another strong point. On is always right where he needs to be, and it might sound like a cop-out, but I think as we watch them through MSI, we'll see more and more of how On affects the map state for BLG, and how he can really be a pain in the sides of people like Maple as well.
Just hit level 6 off that ward. Massive for On as the Dragon has just come up, especially with Shun on this bottom side. It's going to be a dive immediately into it, but there's the power again of the lethality Kalista. These Qs do so much work.
Who are we calling the ambulance for? Let's find out who has the better health insurance here is Betty. Oh, okay, maybe we start the 9 and then wait for the 2 numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm from Australia. It starts with a 0 over there. Definitely in the wrong country. As BLG try to rush through this bottom lane, JunJia here to defend. Yeah,
and Elk already is level 9, and Betty's still stuck at level 7 between his 2 towers, getting zoned off again. Here comes Knight, 4v3. No teleports on the side of PSG, so they're just doing everything they can to even get some experience for Betty and Woody here, trying to escort them back to the tower.
Problem is the 6 Void Grubs do so much work on these towers the second you leave them alone. And now Dragon's starting to form BLG. Knight going to push out mid before he joins, but On has the ultimate if they want to. Betty stepping very far up here.
Yeah, for the wave dangerous. I like that you pointed out. On is running in. He's got flash available and the hostile takeover. Shun's angle now perfect. JunJia's like, maybe I have the angle on them, but as the culling comes through, it's used all for naught as flag and drag out. This is a good counterplay from PSG, but now with Berserk hostile takeover, maxing range. Woody's 1 shot away because Knight TP'd in to save the day. The handshake might be cleansed, but Betty still drops on down, other than another counter to Elk's matchup, and the deed is done again.
Betty might have the cleanse, but On is too clean, and now Knight starting to move in onto this bottom side as well. They want the tower, they want the picks, but I think they're just too low at the moment. They need to look for the reset.
Yeah, Elk and Shun gonna go for their recalls there, so no more poking around at the tower for Knight. BLG call a stop just for now to go spend their cash.
We've got lots of it. Let's watch this again because this was scattered out.
It started off well for PSG though. Betty getting good damage on the Elk.
Yep.
The interrupt on towards Shun, but the TP from Knight is the difference maker here. They're able to take out Woody, separate Betty from the rest of his team, and with that, now he just ends up in the 2v1 from hell as Elk and On are able to rain down on top of him.
Double flash over to follow him and finish off the kill.
How many times in this series so far has On flashed away? I think we should do a tally because On flashes into enemy. Game 1, we remember, into Betty and Woody, he just flashes in.
Look, he's cheating. He's got a way out with Fate's Call.
Yeah,
right?
that's
he's got
true.
2 flashes, you know?
Plays like an engage though. I mean, it's nice to see. Again, 7 out of 8 kill participation for this support. Definitely a core member of BLG from this series alone. Flag and Drag is starting off yet another fight. Bramble Smash for the disengage, but you look at what's happening bot. Mabel getting zoned under turret. Shun is now gearing up for another Flag and Drag with the orb on top. They're about to make this the dome of control. JunJia twisted advances out, but Knight finishes the kill. It's a nice setup as a flash away from Shun to get away from the ultimate from Maple, but as he flies through, he's interrupted. The disrespect there, and Maple thought he could channel and get the time, but again, Knight won't let him.
On the top side, though, Bin ends up falling to Azhi, who gets the solo bolo there. So you get 1 win for BLG, 1 back for PSG, but now what happens in mid?
Tara's going to go down. Cullen comes out to try and stop it, try to delay it as Elk just deals with the wave, but Betty's standing there. Down goes Shun again. A handshake back as he trades his life, but Elk and On will be waiting as always. BLG take the fight once more.
I love it. 17 kills in 15 and a half
Elk
minutes.
is laughing.
This is my
They're
kind of
having
game.
fun. This is having fun. This is playing League of Legends with your friends on the international stage and just absolutely smashing. Bin here, the only one having a rough time as Anja got a really nice, again, pathmaker there. Got the knockback as well. And then under tower, like, oh!
No. Well,
I was like, how is this going to end? Is it? He's
you
going to be able to
win
get
some,
up
you
there?
lose some.
Nope.
you know what? I think now he's even in this game. The early gameplay was sick, and that one as a Mastercard latest economy snapshot pops up. Gives a bit of gold back to Archer.
Yeah, and we have another murder book nicely picked up for Knight as well. He has 7 stacks of that now, so going to try and play with Bin to try and pick up a few more here as JunJia. Just need to be careful because there's more members of BLG are coming as they shove in mid lane and starting to rotate up towards this top side.
It's that top laner life, you know. Aja has actually had a pretty good game here.
Yep.
Meanwhile, though, Shun wants more.
Woody's just caught out somewhere where he shouldn't be. Who wants sashimi? Woody runs away. That's lucky for the time being as the poke from Elk would have finished off in 1 shot at this point, but an inner turret going down and almost a 10k gold lead. I'm blinking again and I shouldn't because I open my eyes at 17 minutes. The game feels like it's done once more.
Nice,
Caught
needs
out.
to get away.
The Nature's Grasp might catch him out. He flashes for max range, but he's not out. The Shockwave in return is built different as PSG find the pick to open up the handshake. Good though, but Shun now isolated. The flip back sets up for the team fight as Aurelion Sol the backline as the new target has been. He's taken on the world. He'll burn down 2 PSG are getting numbers here in this fight. Cullen comes out. There's the handshake. Elk stops that in an instant with the Fate's Call himself. On is out, luckily.
Huge for PSG there. Aja is doing everything he can to get them back into this game. He puts so much pressure on Knight there and gets Knight's flash into the ultimate from Maokai and getting that kill, opening up something at least for PSG. Even though BLG are still going to keep steamrolling, you gotta give them their due. That was a nice moment for PSG.
Yep.
And now the next step is going to be the Dragon coming through here in just a matter of seconds. A lot of members from BLG going up towards the top side. Looks like Rift Herald more in their favor. They're thinking, look, 4 dragons is never really going to be a thing. Let's instead try and hammer this Rift Herald home into the turrets. But we're going to get the replay here of Aja chasing down Knight.
Yeah, honors for Aja in this game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Goes all out on Knight. He's going to be able to pressure them. Good angle here from JunJia. They get the flash, and look at that. Barely the Maokai ultimate still hits. After that, then they're able to clean up since Knight is already down. Maple coming in, Aurelion Sol ult does a lot of work. Woody had a nice Nami ult to delay that BLG bottom lane. The Nami ult making sure that the Kalista doesn't come and wreck house.
It's also crazy to me at the end of it. Alk and On were like, we can still do this, right? We still got this.
I told
And
you,
can,
I'd win.
And that's the thing, the rest of BLG is clearly like, no, stop, it's over. Where they're like, we can do it. As BLG, though, back out onto the map, they will go for the Dragon in the end. The Knight just going to collect the waves on top side. But I think it's a case of like shove in this wave mid, shove in top, and then look for the Rift Herald as well. Because yes, PSG had a nice moment there. But if you actually fight toe-to-toe with BLG, they are still massively far ahead here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very relatable moment to a lot of players in League of Legends, you know, when if you're so far ahead and then you have a smart little bump there, then you tell everybody, all right, let's calm down, let's get all the objectives before we go super aggro again. They grab the Dragon, they grab the Rift Trail to heal for themselves, then they can get back to it.
Because again, as we see, the setup is huge. Both neutral objectives you guys were highlighting, but it's also the ward control in River that is controlling PSG's space, and we know that this team as well looking towards that Aurelion Sol scaling if they want to have any flying chance in this game, because it's still 19.5 minutes with a 3-item Kalista just about for Elk, with Knight also having the Deathbook Dagda highlighted, but now a fully stacked Saras and Great.
Oh!
On, that's a start. Culling comes out as well. Max range, almost dies. That's a start for PSG again.
Yeah, even getting a Kalista ultimate cooldown there would have been super nice, but they couldn't quite squeeze it out, and so On is able to walk off. No real cooldown opening, but still going to be able to push out the mid wave here as they do have a reset for On. Going to have to go back.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they're going to take that advantage and go, hey, look, Elk now can't contest mid wave. We're going to lean into top and try and look for a tower there, as Maple had already pushed in the wave, but instead, it looks like they're very worried about losing their own jungle camp, so just want to make sure they can actually collect some of these while BLG are off the map, but BLG then use that window to take mid and then move into the top side instead, so you still end up losing control of somewhere on the map here as PSG.
Yeah, for PSG, obviously it's really difficult, but if you're trying to drop a plan, you know, like a side lane play where, oh, they're going to hex gate actually.
They see it though, they see it. Hang on, it's a bait, it's a ruse, it's a hostile takeover. It's a bit of a schmooze. The pullback from Arja though is good as Maple's ulti is isolated. It's great. It sets up for the kill on Elk. BLG thought they had this in the bag, but again, it is the same place. PSG are winning the fight, but the turnaround is there. Arja on top of Knight is soloing him out while Betty and Woody are now feeling themselves onto On next. BLG are throwing it all away. They're in the same place again. PSG are resilient. They will carry on, and they'll find another fight.
Hex Gates! They YOLO it on a Hex Gates play, and they're gonna get Baron! Objective bounty shut down! PSG are doing it! The comeback!
That is huge! The fact BLG all in onto the two tankiest members of PSG with zero control on the map. PSG are like, great, that's everything. Let's go, boys. It's dinner time.
Exactly. The Renata ultimate is used on the double tanks, so then PSG can just funnel in. Maple cruises over the top, that big Aurelion Sol ultimate, and Aja, once again, this man has been a beast fighting every second there for PSG. He takes out Knight while the rest of the team chases down the other members. They got Shin's flash as well. Betty even flashing there. They're getting all so hyped up.
Just get him down. We need Baron.
Exactly. So hyped up. You gotta go Baron, now.
But this is a team with Aurelion Sol. We know from the rule book, as the PSG Baron comes up, the Red Bull Baron power play, that they've got the Aurelion Sol scaling. It outscales all. This dragon is about 500 kilometers long, and Maple is heading towards his third item. So from what before was like a bit of trolling from BLG, now to the same spot, PSG have caught up to only 2k gold disparity.
And the thing is, Elk is just going to become less and less impactful.
Right point.
You're starting to get the armor coming through from JunJia, a little bit slow, but still going to be coming there. Azhi is massive with 3 items now completed. And this is a lethality Kalista. She's not getting through a Ksante.
Aja's a hero. The Ksante, level 15. He's going to go down mid lane. The rest of the squad here finishes up the tower, and they got it.
Again, Knight gets caught on out. The ult is perfect from Maple. He's burning for his life, and he gets hit by a tree to drop on down.
The flash as well, burnt by Knight, is huge. That means in the next fight, they can just turn and burn again, and now everyone on PSG starting to come en masse. You can see the Kalista trying to come across, so at the moment, PSG gonna back it up. Dragon in 30 seconds though, PSG. Is it towers or is it Dragon? What are you looking for here?
Like it's gonna be the tower for the time being. They zone off as Elk comes through, pokes out Betty, but the zone control continues. Culling comes out, Fate's Call gonna be used. Elk sends him in, or rather On sends himself in. Hostile takeover is gonna land as Maple can't dodge away, but Betty does. Arja TP's in under turret and has no fear. This Ksante carrying the game further as the Ninetara drops on down, and the Spring Kings catch up in gold.
BLG trying to do a little bit of a counterattack there, and they do get the teleport cooldown from Aja, which is big. nobody ends up going down, and it's going to be a little bit of a delayed reset here. Baron empowered recalls plus Hex Gates, though, is the quickest reset that you can have, and PSG are right back at it.
Watch Shun and Knight, they still have that combo open available. That's going to be the go button for BLG, whereas PSG Talon, they use so much on getting that top lane tower. It's only Azhi who has his ult available, but BLG, they're scared of PSG right now.
They certainly are. They've made too many mistakes, and PSG are going to grab another objective for themselves.
Are Jat's cards actually going to be right? That one pull from Shocks coming back to bite BLG right now.
Bro, Twisted Jat next skin in 2025. Maybe it's the MSI skin in the end as well. Either way, if those taros come true for PSG, what an accomplishment it would be. I mean, it's such a big punish for BLG, overexerting themselves. I just love that it was the same place, the same time in that jungle, as PSG try to get deep within BLG's own jungle.
And we've heard how much it means to these PSG players, you know, making it to main stage here after last year being a very disappointing year, and now pushing BLG to the brink. We won't get ahead of ourselves as Bin Split pushing on top and PSG.
Down. The Nature's Grasp flies through. The Singularity is zoning out. Shun just giving stacks over. But remember, Maple also have the Sky's Descent. Upgraded ulti threatens on the almost level 16 Aurelion Sol.
Yeah, Bin up there pushing on the top side. They're going to have to go answer. They swing with the Maokai ultimate, but it's going to be just that.
You see the push in mid, though, is coming through. Bin going to be able to, I believe, get out of here, but he has to be careful. Azhi's here. Maybe he's caught.
Maybe.
Just got ult.
Dodges away, good slice and dice the second time around. Arja still slows him down, but there's no all out here. The rest of BLG also moving up.
You still get the push out the top wave, though, which is really the win for PSG here. They don't need to go into the jungle. They know BLG are going to be there.
Call, flag and drag. They're trying to find Maple, but the flag and drag is early. Maple gets on out. He flies out. The face call also used handshake out. Arja with a beautiful angle. The skies will fall, and with that damage that comes over, BLG has slowed. They're burning down on in the middle of it as well. Ulti's out before he dies, but still dies. Tidal wave through the middle as the culling is flushed away from Bin. But PSG are still controlling the space so well.
And that was without Betty. Betty was in base. He just cleared out that mid wave and then started to rotate up. So Betty basically a non-factor, and still PSG are coming out on top. This Aurelion Sol and Ksante is too hot to handle for BLG.
PSG have been so good at team fighting as well. When you have these tools, the giant Maokai ultimate and giant Nami ultimate and Aurelion Sol, like they're all coming together here.
Yeah. Such
big AoE team fighting tools, and every time BLG moving up too aggressively and PSG with the big punishes.
And that's the thing. I think BLG realized, look, we're just getting outscaled here. We need to try and find a pick. We need to try and force something, but PSG aren't giving it to them. They don't overextend on the top wave. They have the people that can come through, and Azhi rightfully spotting how quickly he can come in onto that fight and just burn BLG. Like, seriously, Azhi's had just such a good game on this Ksante.
I mean, it's been fantastic considering how it started with Bin finding a lead, with Azhi finding his kill on Elk as well. We got one apiece. The double dragon as well, another point to what you guys were mentioning. PSG aren't in a rush. They've got themselves objectives set up. They've got at least another 7 minutes on top of that, but they're fighting a fight now. The Singularity down again. The damage from Maple is really piling up.
The Renekton isn't here. He's about to TP in. They're going to try and look for the play on this. They know
Mary flushes in. He gets a flag and drag, but Betty flushes out, and it's countered. Maple gets down the BLG jungler as Nature's Grasp catches the shockwave only onto Arja. They're trying to find the tank, but he survives too. Bin uses the dominance. It gets out as we get a pause after. So, not sure as to what it was. We are back in the game, so everything must be fine.
I think that's the correct call. It's like, hey, look, lads, we've got a really big lead here. Let's not try and muck about with this.
Let me start you off by saying culling has already come out. Petty's damage is great. Handshake does nothing because Baron might just drop here. We come back to live. Shun's not there to smite steal. BLG won't take a 4v5 with everything they tried to commit with the mid push. So Baron again, and for the first time in this series, PSG are ahead in goal.
And the only thing they really had to use was Betty's flash. Betty flash on the Jarvan Orianna engage, and they get the kill. They get the Baron.
Yep.
Back to pushing. Okay, here we go. We can investigate. Betty knew he had flashes out. The star comes down.
Oh, the Pathmaker didn't go off. The Azhi's Pathmaker didn't actually end up going forward there or even in any sort of direction. So that must have been the one. But either way, I think correct call. Look, it's not worth it's not worth giving up the advantage that you have right now, PSG. So
certainly not. Yeah.
We're going to set up now on the map. You got Dragon in 30 seconds. Push in mid for PSG. And BLG, Bin is not with them and he has no teleport.
True.
So this is where PSG, they'd love to try and get mid tower, but they're happy to just get the push and lean into river.
Getting more and more, as you said, looks like BLG won't be walking towards it because Bin doesn't have that summoner available. As he deals with top wave, BLG just clearing out some of the offensive vision that PSG have been able to acquire with this scaling really taking off. We're looking at BLG running out of options continuously, every single fight going towards this red-sided team. And PSG getting closer to picking up their own game in this series. Teleport under turret. It's a great ulti and Maple's angle leap better than tidal wave. Combos so nicely. One thing you can rely on PSG for at MSI is their team fighting.
Oh, that was disgusting. PSG, they've done it. They've done it. They're going to push on mid with the Baron buff here.
Can it end? I mean, if they find another kill, maybe they're still going forward regardless with the Baron buff and inhibitor down. What's next?
You still have Shockwave for that wave. That's what Knight needs to try and get in. He's going to try and get the ball, but
Maple's jumping in. He knows a scaling stun. JunJia flies through, twisted advance. Shockwave comes through, but it's only a one-man onto Archer. It means nothing. BLG had this game, this series point in the palm of their hand. The disrespect, the overcommit, and PSG are waiting to punish. One Nexus turret will drop, the next follows suit, and the Spring Kings of the PCS have arrived to the main stage.
What a performance from PSG! The solo laners stepping up massively to find the picks, to find the fight, and put BLG back in their place.
One apiece, PSG. I'm not going quietly into the night. People said this might be the most dominant opening to the main stage, the most dominant BO5. Well, put that away because we got a series on our hands and BLG cannot overexert themselves again. PSG will be there to punish as we throw to the analyst desk to break that one down.
Thank you so much indeed. Chengdu is silenced just a little bit as BLG drop this second game rather in the best of 5, and PSG